So this week in Pokemon Go, it's going to be filled with a lot of various activities, including a Sun-Kissed Shores event, along with a community day, which is definitely going to be exciting. I'm going to be talking about all of this in today's video. Let's get right into it. Alright, what's happening everyone? Jinsula here with a brand new Pokemon Go video. I hope your day is going really well, and let's get right into it. So this is the week right after Pokemon Go Fest Max Finale, and it's also going to be, I believe, the last week of this season, so there is certainly a lot of things to get done during this week, as well as a few things that I think a lot of players are going to skip out on, but also some things where it may not necessarily be a bad thing for you to participate. So the first thing is, of course, going to be the Sun-Kissed Shores event. I really do think when it comes to this particular event, there's a lot of things that Niantic could have done better, but overall, this is going to be pretty much a filler event. And yeah, let's talk about it. The Sun-Kissed Shores event is going to be the follow-up event to Pokemon Go Fest Max Finale. It's going to be happening from August 25th at 10 o'clock a.m. local time, and it's going to go until August 31st at 8 o'clock p.m. local time. The featured Pokemon for this event is going to be the brand new Pokemon Dondozo, and the shiny form is also going to be making its debut as well. Now, these are going to be the wild encounters during this event. You're going to see Psyduck, Shellder, Marill, Shuckle, Wingull, Tepig, Helioptile, and all the various forms of Oricorio, Bounsweet, Sandygast, Lechonk, as well as Alolan Executor, with the latter being an uncommon spawn. Now, just like you see on screen with the infographic, pretty much every single one of these can potentially be shiny. And then these are going to be the event bonuses during this event, or at least there's only one event bonus apparently. It's going to be a double experience bonus for whenever you complete raid battles, and that's pretty much it. They did not list any other event bonus, and I really felt like they could have added some more, but yeah, if you do a whole bunch of raids and you need to get experience, you're going to be able to get a lot of it during this event. Now, speaking of raid battles, these are going to be the raid bosses during this event. In 3-star raids, you're going to see Alolan Raichu, Alolan Marowak, and the new Pokemon Dondozo. And then in 1-star raids, you're going to see Slackoth wearing a visor. It's going to be making its return. And then of course, all the various forms of Tatsugiri. Each of these forms are going to be based on whatever region you're in. You're going to encounter curly form Tatsugiri in Europe, the Middle East, as well as Africa. You're going to get droopy form Tatsugiri in the Americas. And then stretchy form Tatsugiri is going to be in the Asia Pacific region. And then this event is also going to have a timed research, which is going to give you 10,000 player experience, 7,000 Stardust, and encounters with event-themed Pokemon. And there's also going to be a paid timed research, which is going to give you 4,000 experience, 3,000 Stardust, as well as a Peanut Berry Bag avatar item. And then there's also going to be another ticket, which is going to give you 3,000 Stardust, 2 premium battle passes, as well as encounters with Slackoth wearing a visor, as well as Dondozo. Now, aside from this Sun-Kissed Shores event, there's also going to be a community day during this week, and it's going to be featuring the Pokemon Rookidee. Let's talk about the details for this event, and then afterwards, let's talk about other stuff that's going to be happening this week. August 2025 Community Day featuring the Pokemon Rookidee is going to be this Saturday, August 30th from 2 o'clock p.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. local time. Now, this will be your opportunity to get Rookidee's shiny form at a boosted rate. Of course, this Pokemon's shiny form has already debuted, but for a majority of players, they may still not have this shiny Pokemon. Now, when you evolve Rookidee fully into Corviknight, you're going to get the featured attack Air Cutter, and this is looking to be a pretty solid move for PvP. You do not want to miss out on it, so make sure you evolve your Rookidees during this event so that you can get a Corviknight with this move. There's also going to be a special research that you could purchase within the Pokeshop, and it's going to give you encounters with Rookidee with a special background. And then there's also going to be field research tasks themed around Rookidee throughout the event, and it's going to give you Rookidee encounters as well as Great Balls, and some of those Rookidee encounters might have a special background. Next up, let's talk about the event bonuses that we can enjoy during this event. First of all, any eggs that you place in incubators during this event is only going to have a quarter hatch distance, and then you're going to get double the amount of candy for every catch, and then double the chance of getting Candy XL. Lure modules and incense, excluding the daily adventure incense, are going to last for 3 hours, and then you're going to get additional Rookidee spawns with every snapshot that you take of your Pokemon. And then you're also going to be able to get one special trade additionally, and then every trade is going to cost 50% less Stardust. And then there's also going to be a special time to research after this community day, which is going to award you with Rookidee with a special background. And then finally, there is one more thing that's going to be happening this week, and it's actually going to be a Mega Evolution Raid Day. Let's talk about this one because I do think this is going to be one of those things that a lot of players are going to skip. Mega Gyarados Raid Day is going to be happening on Sunday, August 31st from 2 o'clock p.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. local time. The featured Pokemon for this raid day is, of course, going to be Mega Gyarados, and I'm pretty sure they're going to have a boosted shiny rate, but Gyarados was actually one of the original shinies that they released. I actually think it's the very first one, so I really do not think there's going to be a lot of players out there who still need this shiny, but just keep in mind that you will have an opportunity to get a shiny Gyarados during this event, so if you still do not have one, just keep that in mind. Now, if you were to get a Gyarados during this event through those raids, it's going to actually know an exclusive attack, which is going to be Aqua Tail. So if you want a Gyarados with Aqua Tail, this is one event where you will be able to get it. Also, keep that in mind. Now, we're going to have the following event bonuses during this event. You're going to see the remote raid pass limit get increased to 20 from Saturday, August 30th at 5 o'clock p.m. local time until Sunday, August 31st at 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I think this is very common for every single raid day, so if you want to get a whole bunch of remote raids in during this event and not necessarily from Mega Gyarados, do keep in mind that there will be an increase to the limit up to 20. And then you're going to be able to receive up to 5 additional free raid passes from spinning gym photo discs for a total of 6, and then you're going to have an increased chance of encountering shiny Gyarados, which I mentioned earlier. Now, there's also going to be an event ticket, which is going to cost $4.99 USD, or the equivalent pricing tier in your local currency, and it's going to give you 8 additional raid passes, which is going to give you a total of 14, and then you're going to have an increased chance to get Rare Candy XL from raid battles, and then 50% more experience will be obtained from every raid battle, and then double the amount of Stardust as well. These bonuses will be effective on Sunday, August 31st from 2 o'clock p.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. local time, so it's only going to be active during the raid hours. Alright, now let's switch gears and talk about the weekly content, starting with tonight's Max Monday. It's going to be with Dynamax Chansey, and when it comes to this particular Dynamax Pokemon, yeah, it could be a very solid tank for your Dynamax battles, especially if your group needs it, but I will say it's not a high priority Dynamax Pokemon, considering we had a whole bunch of Dynamax battles this past weekend with the Max Finale event. I will say that Chansey is probably going to be one you will want to skip out on. But next, let's talk about tomorrow's Spotlight Hour. It's going to be featuring Lechonk. It's going to be from 6 o'clock p.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. local time, and there's also going to be a 2 times transfer candy bonus. And then when it comes to this Wednesday's raid hour, it's going to be one featuring Necrozma. Now, of course, this is not going to be for any of the fusion forms of Necrozma, but if you want a really good one for your fusions, then this will be a great opportunity for you to pick it up. And then finally, on the weekend, we of course have Shadow Regirock in 5 Steel Shadow Legendary Raids. It's going to be somewhat important if you PvP, but I would suggest you do not necessarily prioritize this one unless you really want yourself a shiny Shadow Regirock. And then finally, let's talk about everything that's going to be going on when it comes to PvP. So in terms of what is going to be active during this week, we have the Open Master League along with the Catch Cup Great League Edition, which is going to go until this Tuesday, August 26th. But then afterwards, until the end of the week, we're going to have the Open Great League, Open Ultra League, as well as the Open Master League. And something you do need to keep in mind is that this is going to be the last week before the season ends. So if there is a particular rank that you're trying to hit before the end of the season, then you definitely need to get all of your battles done, because there's going to be no other opportunity for you to PvP and get higher ranks. So yeah, there you have it. This is everything that's going to be happening this week in Pokemon Go, and I will say that For the most part, this is kind of a filler week. Aside from Rookidee Community Day, it looks like some of the events, as well as some of the rating content, is not necessarily going to be that exciting. I will say that it's perfectly fine, considering that we are about to have a lot of stuff happening in the fall, and we're probably going to get an announcement regarding the next season. I really do think they're just kind of taking a break, especially because with the Max Finale event, I do think that for most players, they might want to calm down in Pokemon Go for a little bit, maybe take a bit of a break. This is definitely going to be the week for you to do that because the Mega Evolution Raid Day, as well as this Sunkissed Shores event, not necessarily that exciting. But yeah, that's just my own personal opinions. And I really do think for a lot of Pokemon Go players, maybe they will share in that opinion, or maybe they will disagree. So yeah, definitely share your thoughts in the comments section down below regarding everything that I talked about, and if there is something in particular that you are actually excited about, maybe it is Rookidee Community Day, maybe it's actually Mega Gyarados. Definitely share what your reasons are for that down below, and let's have a great discussion. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if it's your first time here, and also don't forget that notification bell so you know when exactly I am going to be uploading my videos. Do not miss out on that. And if you want to support my channel in a big way, the best way you can do that is, of course, joining my Patreon. I'll put a link to it in the description below. For all of my Patreon supporters, they get a permanent spot on my in-game Pokemon Go friends list. So that means for stuff like remote raids, the friendship system, opening and sending gifts, different things like that. If you want to play Pokemon Go with me, then make sure you go and check out my Patreon. I'll put a link to it in the description below. And pretty soon, I will open up a Discord server. Currently, I'm in Korea, so that's kind of taking up a lot of my energy. But after I get back, I'll look into finally releasing that Discord server. And if you want to support my channel in a completely different way, the best way you could do that is going to be joining my social media pages. So if you go to any of the platforms you see on the bottom of your screen right now, look for @CountJinsula, make sure you follow me, you'll have access to some exclusive content, and you'll be able to keep up with my daily life, especially right now as I'm in Korea. And that's going to be it for this video. I'm Count Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself today, and I'll catch you all later.